everyone. My name is Engy. It's written here Engy Morsi. It's okay, but this is the business name. So, but my father's name is Ali, so I'd like to say Engy. I am a project manager working for the Biblioteca Alexandrina, the Library of Alexandria. I'm a software project manager there. I don't know how many of you know about the library. Okay. So maybe if you have time, I can introduce to you to the library. But you will have, by the end of the session, the website for the library, and can you go and serve the website as long as you wish. Today I'm going to show you how we are using Solr for our different projects that are developed under the library. So first, let me show you different examples for using Solr. First, this is the website for the library. We are using Solr for searching for events, news, and other different stuff that are published on the website. Another example is something called the WAMCP. The WAMCP is the abbreviation for the Welcome Arabic Manuscript Cataloging Partnership. This website was developed with the partnership with the Wellcome Trust Library and King's College London for cataloging, searching, browsing old ancient manuscripts. We are using Solr to search within the content of the manuscript using the ancient Arabic language. Another example for using Solr, something is called Science Super course. This is mainly interested in presentations that are coming from different scientists. We are able to search within the content of that slide as well as within the notes and comments provided on the slide. So if anyone didn't have valuable presentation, he just can email it to the website or send it to the library, and we'll be so grateful to and thankful to publish it on the website as well. And last but not least, our concern for today is the book site for browsing, searching different books and publications that are available on the website and the library as well. So what we are going to do is we'll have a brief introduction to the architect for the DAR, what we are called Digital Asset Repository. We will have a close look about how we are indexing the book collection, searching across this collection, both in the metadata and the content. Also doing about a lot of fasting results, searching within the book content, and how we are using Solr with personalization. And finally, I'll give you a brief about how we are going to do other improvement for the book site. And if you have time for questions, I will be glad to answer it. Okay, first, we have about 1.5 million books on shelf in the library. And these book collections, actually, we are concerned to be able to browse it and search it, not only in the metadata, but also within the content of the book. Because this is something that is demanding, and all the users that visiting the library are asking us to do. They'd like to search within phrases, within the content, instead of just getting the book from the shelf and doing this manually. So we build our digital asset repository. This repository contains all the digital media that are available in the library, videos, audios, manuscripts, publications, books. But currently, we are concerned with the books, and especially in this presentation. So let's have a brief introduction to the architect. As you can see, okay, we have all these digital media are ingested within the repository through the ingesting tool. The repository is mainly built on Fedora. As you can see, inside the repository, we have an index. This is based on Solr, and this is mainly metadata index, not content index. Okay, because within the repository, we are concerned with the metadata, and the content are on the file system. All the services are provided through a RESTful API. And on the top, outside the repository, there is an application. For example, this is one of the applications that we have already saw, the book site or the welcome trust or whatever. And this application is synchronizing with the repository to get all the metadata and the content it is concerned with, index it on its own Solr, and then represent to the users. I'm not going to say much about the repository because it is out of scope for this presentation, but I'd like to answer your questions after the talk about if you have any concern about the repository. So the book site, the application built on the repository, have about 260,000 books. Out of this collection, we are publishing about 220,000 books are available online for the users. But there is a point here. If you are outside the library, outside the building of the library, you are able to browse only 5% of the content of the book. This is according to the copyright protection. So we are not allowed to make all the books available for the user outside the main library. These books are about 1.5 terabytes of content. We are indexing about 150 to 200 books per day. So what we would like to do, we were thinking that we need to make the books, the content, and metadata searchable for the users. We are searching in 5 languages for now. We are mainly concerning with the Arabic one, but also we are searching the Latin, like the English, French, Italian, Spanish, and we are working on the German as well. But our main target is the Arabic content because we have the largest Arabic collection in the Middle East. Another thing that we'd like to do is to do the fasting on the search results, like fasting by categories, the contributors, and the language. Another thing that we were concerned is the annotation. We have developed our own book viewer that allows the user to do all the annotation he would like to do. For example, he can underline text, highlight it, and even put sticky notes. And this can be done only if he sign in on the website, providing his username and password. He can do all this stuff. He can, as you see, add sticky notes, underline, highlight text, and we'll see other personalization features. He can arrange his own book in his bookshelf. He can add comments, can rate it, can embed this book in his own website. It's okay for us. He can share it on our other social networks. But actually, how we are doing this, how we are providing the user with the capability to search within the content to do this personalization stuff and the annotation. So let's look here. We have 5 separate indices. Each index is holding the content, their language. So all the Arabic collection, metadata, and the content are in the Arabic index, and similarly for the other languages. When we get a search query from the user, we have to search across all the indices that are available for us, and then we will have to process all the results and get the result back to the users. For the content, for indexing the content, the document in Solr for the book itself, each page in the book is represented as a document, and we need to hold a field. This field should differentiate between the metadata document in the index and the content of the index, because we are putting both the metadata and the content within the same index. But actually, we have a problem with this solution. Let's see that example to figure out what is the problem. If you would like to do an advanced search, the title, for example, mobile technology, and the content we'd like to search for cloud computing. What will happen? Actually, we'll divide this query into two sub-queries. The first query will go and search for title equal mobile in the metadata. So I'll have to search the 5 indices, given that I am searching for metadata where the title equal mobile technology. Then I will get a result IDs from searching for the metadata, and I will keep it for a second. Then I'll have to search within the content with Solr type equal content, and instead of getting the result IDs, I will get the facet results. Why? Because as I mentioned before, each document for the content represents a page in the book. So if the cloud computing matches, for example, 5 pages under the same book, then I'll have a duplicates, and I'd like to improve the processing time for these results. So instead of getting the result ID directly, I will have to get the fasting by ID of the book. Okay? After that, I'll get all these results and get the intersection between them, because I'm doing an advanced search, that ending operator. After that, I'll have to get the results from the index again for the metadata results to display it for the user. Is that okay, or this, you go, okay? So the problem here is that I can't get the result directly from the content, and actually you still need processing time to process the fasting results from the content, plus getting the results from metadata again, and getting the fasting result in the end. And actually, this is how I look after listening to all this stuff. Okay, so another solution, what about denormalization? This is one of the questions that were yesterday asked in the STEM for the JEMP, to denormalize the metadata of each book within the page. Do you think that will be a good solution in this case? It might be a good solution for other cases, but in this case, is it okay? What do you think? Okay. Let's see how it works. For the same example, if I search for title with the same query for Solr type in the metadata, I will get the result IDs. And after denormalizing the metadata within the content, I can get the results of the fasting directly. Okay? But I still have to get the intersections and then get the final results. Okay? It seems working, isn't it? Okay? Actually, denormalization for our case was the worst choice if I have. Why? Imagine that I have changed the metadata for a certain book, and the average size of the average number of pages for one book is about 600 pages. So I'll have to go and index. So just one change, I will re-index the 600 document in Solr. So in our case, this was a very bad choice. And I still I have to process all the data that are coming from the index. So another solution is to have, by the way, up till now, we were using Solr 1.4, okay? So the other solution is to have an index per language, but to separate the metadata from the content. And at this point, we can have all the content of the book just in one field by increasing the field of max field length within the Solr configuration file up to 2 gigaterms. So if we say that we have an average 300 word per page, and the average book is about 600 pages, then I still put all this content within just one text field in Solr. Okay, so back to the example again. If I'd like to do the same search, all I have to do is to search for the title and cloud content in the metadata index, and I will get the results. The only processing that is needed is that I will do this query for all the 5 languages if I didn't identify the language that the user are using. Okay? And on our website, we are not identifying the language. The user is allowed to search across all the language available on the website. Unless in the advanced search, he chooses to search within a certain term in a certain language. So from the 3 solutions, we have found that if we separated the indices, the indexing time and index size is okay for us, but all this processing for the results and fasting and actually the scoring and ranking is not acceptable. But for one index, using just one index that contains the metadata and the content, the index size and the time is not acceptable, but the scoring and the processing time is much more better than before. Okay? And now, after separating the index into metadata and the content index, whenever a user opens a book, I can know the language of the book regardless of his own search, and I can go and search for the search term of the content within the appropriate index for the language. There is an Arabic book. The user has searched for the term weather, okay, but this is in Arabic, for the term weather, and the results is displayed to the user, snippets from the results for matching words, and he just had to click on one snippet, and he can navigate directly to the page on the viewer and find the word highlighted within the page. Okay. As for the searching, either simple search or advanced search, we do this on 2 stages. Stage number 1, we search and get the results IDs only and cache it. Then we find out what is the user trying to display, which page he's trying to display, and just we go and do the highlighting results for the frame or the window that he has chosen to display. So I don't have to get all the results at a time. I just need to cache the results ID for each searching he is counting. As for the book content search, I still have to provide the page ID in order to know which page to navigate to when the user is searching within the content and the book viewer. I have to index the page content and this page per document. And the highlighting, I just wait for the user to click the snippets, and I will navigate to the page for the viewer and display the highlighting and determine the offset of the word he'd like to see. As for the annotation, we are still accessing the annotation from the database. We didn't do any Solr indexing for the annotation, but we are working on this issue that we would like the user to search for the underlying text or the highlighting, so sticky notes, for using Solr. This issue is under progress right now. For the fasting, we store and index the fields that we'd like to facet on it, and we do this on exact search, not the stemming or morphological search, because this is something related to the Arabic language. The Arabic language is somehow different from the Latin. I don't know if you tried to do this before for your applications or not, but the Arabic language has special handling, and we are not using the Arabic analyzer that are presented by Solr. We are doing our analyzer based on something called the Aramorph, but we enhanced it, and we are working to improve the searching using the Aramorph and the Arabic content. So we'd like to make the fasting results more easier for the user. We index it facet, and then we do that on an exact search phase. As for the personalization, actually we are using a separate index for personalization. We don't. The first thought that comes to us that why not to save the personalizations with the metadata for each book, but actually this will put us in a situation that similar to the content. I have to separate out the comments, the tags that your users are putting on the book, but I have to denormalize some of the metadata that is required for us in the personalization index to accelerate the results that comes from the personalization index. We are saving the personalization, like the tags and the comments, in both the database and Solr, because actually we have noticed that the personalization has huge updates every day. If we have 1,000 users using the book viewer, and all of them are commenting on the book, then we have about 1,000 updates on the Solr index. And actually, this is somehow we have to deal with. So we have a master index and a slave index. The master index actually have all the previous comments and tags, and everything that is updated today are going to the slave index. And overnight, we just pull all the content from the slave, put in the master, and we start the cycle again every day. Just one thing to mention, because we are saving tags, ratings, and comments, we have to keep a field that is maintaining what type of document is being indexed in the Solr in order to be able to identify what I am searching for. I'm searching for a comment or a tag. Currently, we are trying to migrate from Solr 1.4 to Solr 4 because I attended last year's conference here, and I found a lot of solutions for my problems for the content index, like the field collapsing, joinings, all this stuff. And I think Solr 4 will solve a lot of them. We are also trying to create a mobile application for the book viewer using Solr. When we think to move to Hadoop for the indexing process, because the indexing process takes time from us to index the content and the metadata, and we have to prepare all this stuff before just starting the indexing process. So I think Hadoop can help us to cover from these problems. Also, we are trying to index other media like maps, manuscripts, audio, and video. Audio and video for just metadata, actually it's not content. And finally, here's my contact. The first website is related to the library website, and the second one is the book site website. We call it a book site, but actually it is called the Digital Asset Repository site. So I think it's time for questions. Okay.
Can you describe the changes that you made to Aramorph? I think I heard you say made some changes to Aramorph.
Yeah.
Just raw classes changes.
Okay. We have modified, but it is somehow from the Arabic point of view. The Aramorph are using dictionaries for the Arabic, AP and C, and the combination AP, AC, PC. Okay. We just tweak the Aramorph to handle, for example, if we talk about the German language, you have the umlaut, okay, for the U, and you have U without umlaut. We do the same for the Arabic. We normalize all these characters to a certain character that I already identified in order to get more search result or accurate search result. The users in Arabic can sometimes miss or write the character in different ways. So we normalize all these characters to a certain one so that I can match if it is without umlaut or without umlaut, I can get the search results. But actually, there's a lot of going under. Okay. The question is, what format we are displaying the books in the book site? Okay, we are actually displaying an image for the book, because according to the copyright, we can't allow the user to copy, for example, the selected text. So we have to preserve it somehow. So are just displaying an image for the book. But maybe you question related to how we are going to highlight this afterward. Okay. During our digitization workflow, we can detect the word and the offset of the word within the text. So when I get a highlight from Solr, I can find this word and go search within where it is, with its place in the image, and I can just highlight this one. So the question is how we store the content of the book. Okay. After digitization, we have all this content on the file system, the images of the book on the file system, and we just store. I'm not using the database unless we need to preserve the metadata only. Okay, and this database is related to the digitization process. So in case of failure, I can contact this database, query, and get the metadata that is required to be indexed, and go to Solr and do all the stuff there. The question is, if I have one book in different language, the content of the book actually is has different language, English, Arabic. Okay, this is one of the challenges we have right now. Okay, actually we already have those kind of books, but in the digital lab, they see which language is the dominant language for this book and just mark it as, for example, it is an English one. So I have to do all the analyzing and process, Solr stuff on the English, and just I can ignore the Arabic. But searching for the Arabic will be an exact search. We don't drop out these terms. We still preserve these terms in the index. But when the user searches, for example, for Apple, in a lower case, it will not match unless he write it as it is written in the book. So if, for example, if he have an apple written in the book, A is capital, and he searched for apple is small, he will not get the results. Simply because the book itself is in the Arabic content. And when the searcher and when the query goes to Solr, it goes through the tokenizer of the Arabic. Okay, so it's for the Arabic, from the Arabic perspective, apple is not an Arabic word. Apple is not an Arabic word. So he will try to search for this term exactly as it is written in the content. Okay, but actually we are trying to, with the new analyzer that exists in Solr, we are trying to find out a way that we can detect the language of the current paragraph or phrase that is going to Solr to be able to index both the English and the Arabic content within the same page. Okay, no, all the books are written in the well-known Arabic language, not the spoken language. So they are all the same. It's okay for them. Okay, thank you. And hope you